Quote from animator Anna Perannato about the title animation.
How do you visualize body, giving it all the nuances that the show tries to portray about the relationship between ourselves and our reflection in the mirror? Either way, this process was always quite a fun creative challenge, as it has always been about finding the sweet spot between what makes sense for the content of the episode and the word itself used for the title.
This episode is based on Chapter 7 Together from Heartstopper Volume 5 and the Ethics of Infatuation Dynamics mini-comic, which I'll talk about later when we get to it.
It's been 4 months since you left Impatient.
Yeah, I should bake a cake or something.
I know you're being sarcastic, but that's actually a lovely idea.
Quote from director Andy Newberry.
So many great moments in this ep. Filming Charlie's party with the cast being brilliant and genuinely having fun while we rolled on them was a massive highlight. And I really love how this ep starts and ends with Charlie and Jeff. How he learns to celebrate his achievements and give himself a break when he isn't perfect is probably something we should all be doing. My mom is a therapist, and I wanted the office to feel like her office. Warm, comfy, and safe. Lit beautifully by Simona Sushna and designed perfectly by Kara Speard.
Too bad I was being sarcastic then.
But it'd be nice to mark the occasion. You've come a long way, Charlie.
Jeff having a pride flag in his office was also a detail in the comic, even though it was in black and white.
What, you don't agree?
I don't know.
All right, let's try something. I want you to name 3 bits of progress you've made over the past 4 months. You know I like my thought exercises.
I think there's a lot of the therapist scenes are some of my favorites.
Progress how?
You settled back in at school in January.
I'm here if you want any extra support, okay? Whatever you need. Go get them.
Who is your favourite character or favourite characters in the show?
Oh, Mr. Farouk, for sure.
Take a 5-minute break, all right, Charlie? Don't push yourself too hard.
You okay? Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of help. I still relapsed 2 weeks after. I know it happens, it's normal, we talked about it.
But you continue to criticize yourself about it. Does it weigh on you?
Can you just eat half?
I said I can't. You're making me feel like shit. If you're gonna sit there and make me feel insane, just fuck off.
We had that fight scene, didn't we, that we quite enjoyed.
Yeah, we did enjoy that.
We were looking forward to it. Being able to sort
to
of
love
like,
us.
well, you know, because you never get to do that as Nick and Charlie. It's very sort of, you know, just a very loving relationship. So we did a couple like rehearsals where it was just us and the director, and we're just kind of improving some stuff.
Things we really always really wanted to say to each other.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. But yeah, that was pretty fun, and I think it ended up coming out quite fun because it's, you know, you can't really hear what we're saying.
No.
So we were saying some filthy things.
Horrible.
Just disgusting things to each other. No. But it was fun. It's always fun to be able to kind of do something slightly different from what you're used to on a job.
Well, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Just off then! Sorry, spat in his face.
And I think that they were really excited to delve into the more serious things this season. Like, I definitely know Joe was really, really enthused about this storyline for Charlie, and he was really up for it. And his favourite scenes are the ones where he gets to have a breakdown or like gets to shout and scream, and like all the really big dramatic moments. I think the actors love getting to, you know, give it their all and get their teeth into something really gritty.
I think Heartstopper is such a special show in that we can handle quite serious topics with quite a light-hearted tone in a way. Like, the audience always knows that the characters are going to be okay in the end, which means that we can go to these places, these dark places, without feeling like we're going to alienate the audience. So it was nice to be able to really delve into the darker sides and the more serious topics.
Your first big fight in a relationship is always a scary experience because you don't have a model for how you solve it together, and thus you have no proof that you've got this and it's going to be okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I've noticed that some people who haven't read the books find this scene confusing and they tend to ask what happened here. This was Charlie's self-harm relapse, brought on by the fight with Nick. A slightly different version of this event, including Oliver, is described in more detail in Solitaire. This scene is the perfect example of what Alice has talked about often with trying to balance showing too much or too little of potentially triggering things. People definitely have varying opinions on how much should have been shown here. If you show too little, people are not going to fully understand what happened. If you show too much, you risk triggering people and losing the tone of the show. As I said, the version of this in Solitaire is different. In Solitaire, Tori is at Becky's birthday party when she gets a call from Oliver that something is wrong with Charlie, so that obviously doesn't fit the show version at all. It also depends which version of Solitaire you're reading how bad the relapse was. The updated version toned it down a lot and focused more on Charlie arranging every food item in the kitchen by size and color.
Self-harm relapses are normal, and they don't negate any progress.
I know.
You are 3 months clean. That's our second bit of progress, isn't it?
Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
This season was the hardest to fit into just one season due to how much source material there was. And if we had more time and resources, I would have loved for it to be 9 or 10 episodes, which would have allowed me to fit everything in I wanted to fit in. We didn't have that time and those resources. As always, me and the team just have to do the best we can, given the circumstances. I remember I wanted to allow Charlie's relapse in episode 6 much more space than it ended up having. Maybe I could have figured it out if I had more time to think about it and rework the script. And I wanted there to be a whole section where the gang go ice skating in episode 6. Not sure where I could possibly have fitted that in.
Okay, fine. Happy?
Yeah, delighted. So, progress number 3. Let's hear it. I've done the first 2 for you.
Me and Nick. I don't know.
No, that's great. So, you feel you and Nick have progressed in your relationship?
Yeah.
Alice was asked on Discord about how she thinks Nick and Charlie would have celebrated their 1-year anniversary between episodes 5 and 6 that we never saw because of the time jump. Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
I'm sure they were terribly sappy and romantic about the whole thing. Gifts and an anniversary date for sure. I've always wanted to draw a scene where Nick and Charlie go to London for a day out. Maybe they would have done that. Or I've also always wanted to draw them going to a concert. I'd have to think about which artists they might both be into.
Probably since that night of the argument. I guess we feel a lot closer. I mean, he's seen me at my absolute rock bottom and hasn't run away screaming. Now I feel like I'm in relationship therapy or something.
We can save that until you're 10 years in and you're having marital problems.
No marital problems here.
But I expect your progress has allowed you to deepen your connection with him. If your intrusive thoughts have lessened, you've got more energy to give to your relationship.
Oh, hi, more passion, more passion, more passion, more energy, more energy.
More energy, yeah. I still feel like I've got a long way to go. Still have a lot of bad days.
You've experienced trauma, Charlie.
Yeah, but I really don't want to be defined by the fact that I was bullied at 14 and then had one toxic ex-boyfriend.
But trauma doesn't define you.
People in the LGBTQ+ community are disproportionately affected by eating disorders. Issues such as discrimination, homophobia and transphobia, these can all contribute to why queer people are often much more vulnerable to eating disorders. And obviously we see that in Heartstopper through Charlie.
But it also doesn't banish your 5 minutes, so give yourself some grace. And you've got people around you who love and care for you, so enjoy them.
Do you practice your motivational pep talks, or do they just come to you in the moment?
You know, they just come to me. I'm just a talented person. I'll see you next week. Oh, and enjoy your birthday and party hard. 16's one of the big ones.
Elle, wow, this captures your spirit as well as your likeness.
If you could take any prop from the set home, what would it be and why?
I would take, from this season, I'd take the painting of Elle.
Miss, how come you never compliment my work like that?
Felix, I'd compliment your work if you could actually show me a completed piece.
They're sort of quite similar to me, I think, at 16, except with, like, self-esteem. They're quite self-assured, so they're non-binary. And at this art school, basically just there for parties and has no intention of doing any work at any point. It's quite like, oh, I just get to be silly and have fun and wear snazzy knitwear.
What a dream.
Yeah.
Reliving the like awkward teenage years and looking hot whilst you do it. Amazing, with a knitwear.
I'm being paid.
I wanted to talk to you about something. Now, we've had contact from a local radio station about you. They've heard about your social media blowing up and they want to interview you.
Am I the only one who finds it awkward that they keep saying social media when it's just Instagram? They've shown the Instagram logo plenty, and they've said Insta before a few times, so surely it's not that they can't say Instagram for some licensing reason.
Is that Instagram famous historian you like?
Now, it's completely up to you, but I do want you to think about whether it's something you feel comfortable with.
Oh, that's so exciting. You're literally famous.
I'm not famous.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. Finish your painting.
I don't know. I just quite like sort of with Felix. I feel like I get to like eye roll and be kind of a much sassier version of like 16-year-old me. Yeah, I made a really good your dad joke in season 3, but they cut it.
Oh, Nick. Can you share it with us now?
Yeah, tell us
Behind the
now.
scene.
I think it was like me and it was Felix and Elle flicking through Felix's like art book, and Elle goes, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Oh, your mum." And she said, "Oh, that's nice." And she said, "What's on the?" She said, "What's on the other page?" I said, "Your dad, but you're not allowed to look at that one."
Brilliant.
Happy birthday! Are you ever going to get tired of doing that?
Absolutely not, no. But I did get you a present.
Okay.
Is that Instagram famous historian you like, Jack Maddox?
This was originally a gift from Tao in the Ethics of Infatuation Dynamics minicomic, and Nick was unaware of Charlie being into this professor, and then he got a crisis over being nothing like him.
I was doing a book signing on Sunday, so I thought maybe we could go after the sleepover.
Wait, we get to meet him?
Yeah.
I love you so much!
Clearly not as much as Jack Maddox, but I'll take it.
Do I also get a birthday kiss? We should probably...
Yeah, not at school.
Now, I'm not the one that noticed and pointed out the subtle adjusting of the pants, but someone did, and now I can't not notice it anymore. Do with that what you will. I don't remember who it was that made me aware of it.
Oh, it happened again.
When?
Yesterday before form.
What happened?
Me and Nick were making out in a practice room, and it got really intense really quickly. And then it stopped, and it was kind of awkward and overwhelming.
Do you want to say it, or shall I?
No, I think he's nearly worked it out for himself.
Charlie, have you considered the idea that you and Nick are ready to take things further?
He's talking about having sex.
Yeah, I know.
Can you talk a little bit about what was important to you writing about Nick and Charlie as they contemplate taking things a step further in this regard?
Mm-hmm. It's something that I wanted to explore in Heartstopper for quite a long time, because Heartstopper is the story of Nick and Charlie's relationship primarily. And this is a big kind of development in their relationship. And I wanted to explore it properly. You know, I didn't want to just kind of imply that it happened and then have no commentary on it whatsoever. I wanted to really delve into the emotions and the anxieties and the pressures surrounding both of them as they both start to realize that they want to take that step. So I think there is so much great teen media out there that explores sex and kind of looks at it in an educational way. But I wanted to kind of take the view to exploring the more emotional side of it, I guess. You know, how do you know if you're ready to take that step? And, you know, what are the anxieties that each of them are dealing with as they make that decision?
I know it's obvious that we both want to, and it's not like we've done nothing. I mean, it's all been over the clothes, but sometimes when we're making out, we...
I started watching the new season with my mum, and we got 6 episodes in, and then I was like, I've got to turn it off, Mum. I just can't. They hadn't even started having sex yet, they were just talking about it, and I was like, I'm really sorry, Mum. We just both sat on the sofa really awkwardly, and she was like looking at me, and I was like, you're gonna have to watch this on your own. I know we got this far in, we're like another 2 episodes left, but I just can't do it.
And did she? I mean, that would be so awkward anyway.
She was like, oh, thank God you said that, because I can't watch this in front of you. So, she's gonna watch it on her own.
Right. But even then, like, are you going to get a text from her and be like, okay, my mom just watched me having fake sex?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a weird thing. But then so are millions of people are gonna watch me having fake sex. It's just a weird part of the job.
Right. Yes.
Better than them watching me have real sex, I guess.
I guess so. Right. Exactly. 100%.
Please spare us the details.
What? No, I want all the details.
Isaac is definitely rep for the nosy, vicariously living ace. We see you.
I'm just scared that he's not ready to do anything more. And I'm scared that I'm not going to know what I'm doing. And I'm scared that he's going to take one look at me and...
Quote from Joe Locke.
I think it's important not to patronize the characters. They're teenagers. It's very normal and natural for them to be thinking about sex and that state of their relationships. And so I think it's only right that we portray that in a really positive and real way. It's not an easy thing.
Well, when me and Elle started having sex.
This was quite different in the comic version.
It was in the spur of the moment. An outburst of fiery passion in the light of the New Year's fireworks.
Yes, Tal, we've all heard this story before.
But there's also a scene that I really enjoyed in Charlie's bedroom. Charlie's getting ready for the party, his birthday party, and me and Tal and Isaac are on Charlie's bed, just chilling, helping him get ready. And it's this really funny scene where me and Will just had a lot of fun trying to make Joe laugh, which is actually harder than you might think. He's too professional.
Why are you interested about Charlie's sex life? Not mine.
You know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore. Get out. I need to change.
What?
Get out.
Talk about it.
Oh my god, Tao, don't talk about sexy time in the corridor. Have you met Charlie's parents? Let's hope they've already left. They probably have.
What do you think makes season 3 different to season 1 and 2?
Season 3, my sexy time.
I love you, Will.
Caption from Emily Wilcox sharing this video of Erin Cahill on Instagram stories. Little Angel preparing and filling Charlie's scar pieces for Heartstopper Season 3. They take around a day or so to set and be ready for application, so this was a constant job throughout the season. Then she would assist me in applying them too. This prosthetic artist's post gave fans a clue that we would see the scars. Alice was asked on Tumblr about her decision to show Charlie's scars in Volume 5, and the question asked referenced an old illustration where Alice had drawn scars on Charlie's wrists instead. I won't show the picture because Alice doesn't like people spreading her old art from her old, now deleted Tumblr. Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
For quite a long time, I was resistant to drawing Charlie's scars because I have learned through much of the mental health research I have done that seeing self-harm injuries can be very triggering to some people who have experienced or are experiencing self-harm. Because of that, I thought I should avoid drawing them entirely. But as I approached this storyline and wanted to explore Charlie's feelings about his body, it became clear to me that this would be impossible to do without addressing the existence of his scars. I couldn't just ignore them. In fact, it would be disrespectful to people who have experienced self-harm to do so. It would be disingenuous and unrealistic. I shouldn't just say Charlie is self-harmed, but then ignored that fact for the rest of the story. My opinion about seeing self-harm scars in fiction changed. While I would never ever show any new self-harm injuries or depict someone actively self-harming, scars are something that many people have, whether they are self-inflicted or not. They are just a part of people's bodies. While they absolutely can be triggering to see for some people, hence why there are content warnings at the start of the book, to pretend they aren't there and not draw them at all no longer feels right to me. Charlie's scars are not something that he should feel ashamed of, and much of Volume 5 explores him learning to combat that shame and feel more comfortable wearing clothes that don't cover them. As for the old comic you're referencing, it was drawn long before Heartstopper. By the time I changed my mind about depicting scars in the comic, I'd already drawn Charlie in Heartstopper many times with his forearms on display. It wouldn't make sense for scars to suddenly appear there with no explanation. It's not ideal for sure, but it's just an unfortunate side effect of putting my old art out online before I started writing the canon story, and how I didn't have things perfectly planned down to the letter when I started drawing Heartstopper.
The audio description for the visually impaired is once again very lacking in this part. There is zero mention of Charlie's visible scars in the entirety of the audio description in any of the episodes.
He pulls off the t-shirt and looks at his pale, thin body in the mirror. He stares at himself as he rubs the lower arm.
The scars are a very important part of the context here, and blind people just get no information about them being there at all.
The green fuzzy cardigan, I think green is such a bold color, and not everyone can pull off green. So I really like that cardigan. What was that take on it?
I think that was probably one of the first outfits I found after that conversation I'd had with Alice and with Andy, the director, and Patrick, about having this growth after the clinic, seeing kind of a different, stronger, older looking Charlie, and something that was bolder, but still in kind of like because he's kind of always had those vintage knitwear, and so like you didn't want to suddenly completely change his character. So it was trying to find things that sort of felt like they fitted still. And then I think because he'd been in a lot of those eating clinic scenes, we'd kind of had like the warm, like, you know, it was the textures and things that, you know, feel cozy and, you know, so it's not like a scary, horrible place, comfort and loving. Yeah. So it was taking that into a more colourful, bolder version, I think. I think that's where that inspiration came from. And so I kind of got that one in. There was the pink cardigan I think he wears in a episode.
There's another episode. Yeah, I just saw it
so
too.
A lot of those in, and yeah, I just thought that really worked quite well as this new sort of different take on Charlie's. Yeah, his evolution.
My parents are out, but please don't break anything or be sick anywhere, please.
I mean, I've always felt very connected to Charlie, and it's been such a kind of joyful journey to see Joe come into our lives and inhabit that role in such a kind of brilliant way. He's so truthful to the source material, but he also brings these little kind of Joeisms, I guess you'd say, where you see he's got such a kind of like surety of his own mind. He's incredibly clever, and he kind of knows exactly what he thinks about everything. And that is in Charlie actually as well, but I think Joe really sharpens that energy in the TV version of Charlie.
Hey, be careful, we'll have another vomit situation. Just need a night off food.
We're making a potion that the loser has to drink. Oh, Darcy, not Chris. That's so gross.
Like the series has sort of like aged up with the viewers.
Yeah, it's cute.
It gets a bit naughty.
It a little bit naughty. And there's alcohol.
Actual alcohol.
Actual alcohol, not J2Os like it was in the first season. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I always find that so funny that they're walking around and like beefing in season 1 with like these bottles of J2O. But no,
I didn't notice that.
It's really funny.
Go back and watch. Go back and watch. Everyone go back and watch.
Harry, come on, she's just down the corridor.
I haven't talked to her for like years.
So?
Things have been so awkward between me and Sahar since New Year's. Like, we're still friends, I think. I don't know.
Sounds like you should probably talk to her about that.
I'm not drinking that, no.
This next bit is such an awkwardly unsmooth long take moment. They're so obviously waiting for their cue, and Joe looks at Layla before she starts talking to him. I noticed it the first time I watched it.
Charlie, we need a drummer for our summer fete slot, and you're literally the only person we know.
Don't really like performing in front of people.
Well, think about it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
So Karina, someone has asked, what is it like to rewatch yourself when you...
On screen?
Yeah, on screen.
It's not my favourite thing in the world, I'll be honest. But I like to take a back seat and just watch the whole show as a collective. So I'm not watching myself, I'm watching my mates.
Yeah.
Kill it. So that's how I do that.
Yeah, me too. I like watching Karina, I don't like watching me.
I like watching Layla,
Yeah.
I don't like watching me.
Aww, you're so cute. Aww.
Happy birthday to you.
I quite enjoyed when we were filming your birthday scene in the last season. We had loads of different, we had like 5 versions of the birthday cake so that we could get like a fresh shot of the first like slice being sliced. So there was just loads of cake left at the end of the day, and I was like, this cannot go to waste. So I just took home loads of cake. It was great. I was eating it for like a week. And it was delicious. So, free food, yes, please.
I can do it. I want to try.
Hello. Charlie, do you have a friend we don't know about?
Hi, Michael.
Happy birthday. 16 is when everything starts to make sense. Or when nothing makes any sense anymore. Kind of the same feeling either way. Beautiful chaos.
As far as Solitaire as well, I didn't know anything about Solitaire, so for the audition I read the books and I was like, it was like a different level of like love and admiration for the whole world, because I was like, oh my god, like, because that's really where you get to see like Michael and his relationship with Tori and stuff. You really got to see like the depth of Michael, because as much as he is on the surface this like massive, like flamboyant, like larger than life sort of guy, he's also got layers to him. Like he also like deals with a lot of things, like struggles with wanting to win things and stuff like that, and he's like admirations to be a gold medalist and stuff. So yeah, after reading Solitaire I was like, oh my god, there's more. Like there's more to him, you know?
Yeah, thanks.
Tao's just standing in the corner, so awkward and judgy, as if he's the only flavor of weird that's allowed to thrive under these conditions.
This is for you. I found him at a charity shop and he just had your energy, so I figured he belonged with you. Found him at a charity shop and he just had your energy, so...
Excuse me? If you want to see Darren, you have to get yourself some Heartstopper, alright?
Also, it made me sad seeing him sitting on a shelf on his own, so... okay, well, bye everyone! Have a fun time!
I don't think Michael's too far from me. I don't know. Yeah, I personally don't think that. I think, like, in the way that he likes to make people happy and he likes to make people smile, and he carries himself, like, I try my best to, like, put that out into the world, like, you know, positivity, positive vibes and whatnot. And I think that's Michael's MO as well. So that part, I kind of understood that straight away. And obviously reading the book, Alice is like second to none at like building these worlds that you just fall into them like immediately. Like you smell it, you see it, you feel it. I read Solitaire in like, I think 2 sittings, and like I do read, but it takes me a while to get through books normally because I have like a bit of a, like, my attention span's really small. But I was just so locked into the book. And the good thing about reading it that way was I got such a strong sense of Michael. And there's a bit in Solitaire where he's like, I don't know, something about, like, I feel like he's someone that all of his joy and his happiness and his excitement sort of comes from this place of kind of hiding these feelings of anger and frustration and sadness at times, you know. And I think that's something I can relate to, and a lot of us can relate to.
So who's that?
It's Michael. Met Tori a few months ago.
Is he Tori's boyfriend?
She won't confirm whether they're dating or not.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
And the meowing.
Oh yeah, with the cat.
Yeah, true.
Was the meowing in the script?
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was, no.
Oh, it was Joe and Will, yeah.
Start meowing, yeah,
That was one of the ones where it's technically like the scene's done on the page.
Yes, yeah.
And they sort of almost think that they're not being filmed.
Yeah.
So then they just sort of like add on a little bit.
Yeah.
That I get to laugh so much. I feel like it's good for my soul to play a character that's so upbeat and so much fun, and also it's really tiring physically. So I sleep really well at night when I play Darcy.
So, have you decided about the radio interview tomorrow?
I think I should do it. It's a really cool opportunity.
I think so too. You're so talented and the world needs to know.
Things have been really awkward with us.
Yeah.
Did you get it? I've been doing a lot of thinking and reflecting recently. I have no idea who I am. I don't really know much about anything at the moment, actually.
Imogen's story in season 3 was very influenced by Rhea's thoughts and ideas about Imogen. In the rehearsal period, we had several conversations about how we could restructure and rework Imogen's story, and I sort of rewrote the entire arc because of those conversations, and it turned out really well, and I'm really happy that we did that.
But what I do know is I don't want to keep hurting you. Do you hate me?
No, I don't think I could ever hate you. You helped me realise something pretty big about myself.
I mean, I guess I could say the same about you.
But you know we'd be awful together, right?
Yeah, so they don't speak for a while, and I think that gives them both a chance to kind of really let those feelings settle within themselves. And this tent scene is such a beautiful moment as well, as all of the moments that they share in their own ways, in their own rights. But this scene, they really make sure that they're on the same page, and it's again closure for them. And it's nice that it's Sahar saying, because it's Sahar that has these feelings for Imogen, it's nice that it's Sahar that says we'd be awful together. And it's like she's took that time to really make that realization that even though I feel such strong feelings for you, I know that we're not right together. And that's such a grown-up, adult, mature decision to make, because we can often let our heart rule our lives. And Sahar's decided to lead with the head, which I think is healing. Again, like going on the term of healing, I think this scene is closure for them. And in life, we don't always get the closure that we want or that we deserve. And you know, in this scene, they actually do, and it's so beautiful, and it's so healing when we do get that closure. So I'm glad that they could have that moment together.
Yeah, I know. I like us better as friends.
Baby Imogen and Sahar are uncredited on IMDb and the credits, and untagged in Layla's post, so I don't know who plays them.
Right, we're gonna get crazy drunk now. Let's start right here.
Wine?
Yeah, that's your drink of choice.
Is it sustainable? I'm trying to do my bit.
Just drink it, Imogen.
Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
There are always lines that the actors ad-lib that make it into the final edit. One of my favorites is Imogen's, "Is it sustainable? I'm trying to do my bit," in episode 6. Cracks me up every damn time. Shout out to Rhea for coming up with that absolute gem.
Quote from Joe Locke.
I love the bit in My Birthday Party where Imogen drinks the wine and says, "Is it sustainable? I'm trying to do my bit." It's so funny. That was a real improv moment.
This is all very nice and fun, but RIP to the scene of them all watching a scary movie and Nick being a scaredy cat.
I know I called you book boy, but...
Yeah, but I knew you didn't mean it.
I did mean it. What?
I think you should get some real hobbies.
Oh, okay.
I did a count, and I think you've said hi 1 million bazillion times. How do you make every single time so wonderful and nuanced? Because it's a very tiny word.
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do.
I
think we take the mickey a little bit now, which actually probably makes it more sincere.
There are days when we will spend like 2 hours just opening the door, saying hi, closing the door, going up, getting changed into another outfit, doing the same thing in another outfit, and we would do it maybe 6 or 7 times in a row. And yeah, there is a point where you're like, I need to be an actor and like remember to say these differently.
There's also only so many ways you can say hi.
Yeah.
Oh, I beg to differ. You've said hi differently over 3 seasons.
Great.
There was actually a point where I said, "Can I say hello?" And they said no. They told me I couldn't say hello.
We say hey sometimes.
We say hey a little bit, but I really wanted to, because I say hello quite a lot in like my, so I was like, could I maybe put that in?
Yeah.
No.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Quote from Joe Locke.
Charlie's birthday party was fun. It was shot over 2 days. It's always nice having everyone on set because we just have a laugh and act like naughty school kids. We've had the same crew for all 3 seasons of Heartstopper, so it's almost like they can't really control us anymore.
Quotes from Jenny Walser and Joe Locke. Jenny.
For sure, he softens her. She just softens throughout the season, basically, which is really nice to see. It was a bit weird to play that, though, because I've been so used to not smiling at all, or even the slightest hint of a smile. Actually, I think we even see some teeth smiling this season, which is revolutionary. He just makes her a bit goofy and brings out the silly in her a little bit, even if she does roll her eyes when he's cracking a joke. It's like that moment in The Grinch when his heart starts to get a bit bigger.
Joe.
Aw, Tori's the Grinch.
Jenny.
Tori's the Grinch.
Have you guys started thinking about uni options?
Gap year for sure. I love staying at my grand's.
I think I want to go to a super old university and study history, like dark academia vibes.
Yeah, 100%. I can just see her, reading books on like outside of like I'm not sure which university, but that's for Alice to decide. But I can just see her loving life, like going on late night walks and sitting in parks with her guitar, writing music. I can really see that for her.
Now I'm thinking of doing like business or politics. Tara, what about you?
I don't know.
Nick?
I'll probably just try and get in somewhere local so I can stay here.
I want to stay close to Charlie.
I always thought it was such a huge pressure on young people that they have to just move to some strange city to study something they had to decide on a deadline at age 18 that will supposedly define their life and career, and it's viewed as strange to prioritize staying close to your family or basically everything you know if you only ever lived in one place.
Guys, can we not talk about uni stuff right now? You don't think you could do long distance?
I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest.
You're going to Oxford, aren't you?
Yeah, you're doing all that Oxford stuff. So smart.
Tara?
Tara? Hey.
Quote from Corrina Brown.
I don't think it was too tough, actually. I think it was more learning to allow myself the time to get there. So normally it's very fast paced on set, but Andy Newbury, the amazing director that we've got for season 3, was like, remember, you can take your time, just breathe into it. There's a lot more still from her because I think there is a lot going on up here. Gestures to her head. So yeah, it was just a thing of allowing myself to slow down, to allow myself to connect to those feelings, to panic, but it was quite nice to do and go in at a different angle because if you can't tell, I'm quite erratic anyway. I'm like, woo! So to have a minute to breathe before we got into it was really nice.
Oh, okay. I think you're having a panic attack. My therapist gave me some exercises to help clear my brain whenever I'm having thoughts that I can't control.
Quote from Joe Locke.
It's like when the student becomes the teacher. It's really great to see him at a place where he feels like not only can he help himself, he can also use it to help other people around him. I think he doesn't realize that he's got that in him until he does it.
Let's do some deep breaths together. Breathe in for 3 and breathe out.
I've found that breathing with this GIF helps if you're ever on your own having a panic attack. There are also grounding techniques like this that make you focus on your senses.
Okay, we're in my house, we're chilling, we've had a few drinks, but everything's fine. Everything's good.
Hey, Tara.
It makes no sense that Darcy would get here so much later than Nick, who was sitting next to them. This is clearly just so Charlie could have this moment of helping her.
Hey, you okay?
Sorry, I was just stressed about everything right now. Charlie was helping. I'm fine. I'll be fine.
That was amazing.
I'm so drunk right now.
Maybe you've had enough now?
I really like you.
I like you too.
Don't ever leave me.
I wasn't planning on it. Let's get you some water, okay?
Come here. I've been thinking about something.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
You and me, we could do things.
I think I've spent so much time with Nick and Charlie that I just feel like I know them like the back of my hand. They've existed as characters in my works since 2012, literally 12 years. And I've spent so much of that time developing their story. I feel like I know them so well as people that I can make those creative decisions in terms of progressing their relationship, thinking about at what point they start to think about sex. I feel like I just know that instinctively because I know the characters so well. You know, there are gay men involved in this whole process. I feel like if I did write something that was wildly unrealistic, like Patrick would speak up and be like, that's odd. Or like, you know, I've got other friends who are reading Heartstopper who I feel like would come to me and be like, that's not quite right. So yeah.
What kind of things?
We could have sex.
Alice wrote a post about her reaction to the criticism of the lack or inclusion of sex in Heartstopper that is too long for me to include in full here, but it's linked in the sources and I'll try to summarize it a bit here to get her point across. Alice wrote that sex was planned to be part of Heartstopper from the start, and she was surprised by how people interpreted Heartstopper as a wholesome, puritanical show. It wasn't her intention for that to be a focal point. Alice grew nervous about the sexlessness discourse, and to some of those people, the sex depicted in the show was still not enough to get rid of its sexless reputation. The dichotomy of mature versus wholesome was never a topic of discourse Alice was aware of in the comic, so it caught her off guard how much people took notice of these elements in the show. In the end, Alice is satisfied with how they handled the topic on the show, though she feels the sex part got a bit overhyped in the early promo stage and caused some people to be let down. Moving forward, Alice decided to stop focusing on what people are expecting and just write what makes sense for the story they're telling.
I think about it all the time.
Yeah, so do I.
Do you?
Yeah. I know I wasn't ready in Paris, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, about 9 to 10 months.
We can go upstairs.
Sure. You're incredibly drunk.
When I'm sober, I'm scared that you might just... that you'll look at me and... I think I'm gonna be sick.
Oh shit. Let's go to the toilet. Come on.
I think Charlie getting interrupted by feeling sick has kind of a subconscious double meaning, because isn't that kind of a conclusion to the thought he started anyways? Because he's afraid Nick will be disgusted and sickened by him.
There are multiple birthday parties. Well, not birthday parties, but
multiple
parties. That feel less Heartstoppery. They're more like grimy, and it's like a rave.
Tara's vomiting and everything.
Tara gets
little vom.
Little wavy baby.
There's so much vomit in this show. Everyone's always vomiting.
Like, just season 3 is the season of the vom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, hold your hair back.
And I trust you'll do a better job at it than Nick, because what the hell was that?
Oh, I feel so ill.
There's this mystery photo of Kit wearing the shirt he wears in this scene. My only theory for this is that this is a deleted nightmare scene like the one in the comic, where Charlie has a dream that Nick calls him disgusting when he takes his shirt off.
You remember last night?
I remember running around in the garden, and then we were in the kitchen, and then... Oh my god, I'm so embarrassing!
No, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
Morning, campers.
Bold move just zipping that open with no warning, not knowing what might have been going on in there.
Mum and Dad will be back in half an hour, just so you know.
Oh, God. I could make egg on toast. I feel like you guys need the egg on toast. When my energy's high, I think I've got a lot of parallels to Michael. I remember when the breakdown came in and it was like manic pixie energy, like sunshine disposition, and I was like, bro, off a couple coffees, I'm that guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of tried to just take it as big as I could and then sort of like bring it down where necessary and when necessary, because he's got quite a lot of depth to him as well, Michael. A lot of the research that I got was from the Solitaire books. In there, you learn so much. I feel like in the season 3, what we see of him is like very high energy, quite comical, quite tender. But in the Solitaire books, he's like this like troubled and like, you know, tormented guy who kind of, the only way he can navigate is to turn everything happy and try and be upbeat and positive about things. And I just used that as the skeleton of it all, I think. Worked from that place.
Did he stay over?
Yeah. So?
I can have friends over too.
We've seen a lot of new characters that are making an appearance.
Yes.
Is there romance on the cards for you?
Ooh, okay, juicy. So, yeah, I guess you're alluding to Michael.
Yes.
Who makes an appearance this season, played by the lovely Dara.
Yes.
So I'd say that I can't give too much away.
Okay.
But definitely Tori in this season, she, we see a slightly lighter side to her. She becomes a little bit more open to the possibility of other people being part of her life.
Interesting.
Making some new friends. So make of that what you will.
Interesting.
But yeah, there's definitely like potential for more to come in future.
Friends.
How do you feel?
I'd feel less nervous if you got that camera out my face.
But this is history in the making.
Right, beginning. We're going in. I'm nervous. Very nice. Okay.
You'll be great. Katie knows exactly how to keep the conversation going.
The radio show producer is played by Amber James.
You'll be great. You're amazing.
The Jack Maddox signing part of the episode is based on the Ethics of Infatuation Dynamics minicomic written by Alice's friend Ren James, formerly known as Lauren James. I wouldn't normally dead name a person, but their books and Heartstopper IMDb credits are still under the old name, so there may be some confusion. Ren has also been the story consultant for the Heartstopper TV series and wrote the official Heartstopper fan cards. As I mentioned in episode 2, Jack Maddox was originally named Henry Maddox. Here's the text conversation between Alice and Ren that led to the creation of the minicomic. Pause to read. Ren James also has the full script and inspiration pictures for the comic up on their website.
You ready to meet the love of your life?
Quote from story consultant Ren James.
In the writer's room for Season 3 of Heartstopper, we simply could not resist the sweetness of Charlie and Nick meeting a celeb crush. And this casting is so perfect that it's like he stepped right off the page. Jonathan Bailey, my life goals have officially been smashed out of the park. Could not have picked a better person to play the first of my characters to appear on screen. I got to visit set to watch him bring Mr. Maddox to life, and you're in for a treat. We've changed his name to Jack for dog-related reasons. Henry the pug got there first.
You're so jealous right now. I'm allowed to have a crush on a celebrity.
I can't believe I'm about to be replaced.
The signing was filmed at Royal Holloway, University of London. He just couldn't resist doing the hi thing.
Hi.
You're in Heartstopper. How did that come about?
Well, like so many people, I watched the first series and I just thought it was one of the biggest, most beautiful gifts to so many people. And I wish I'd had that growing up. So I had a mutual friend who knew Patrick, who's the producer, and I just said, if there's anything I could do to help and be a part of that story.
How many days did you shoot?
Wouldn't be able to say. I wouldn't be able to say. I tell you what I would say is that I saw Joe Locke in Sweeney Todd on his last...
Closed last night, right?
It was electric. But yeah, it's just, it's something that really has changed the way that people can grow and communicate around who they are.
When you see these young people, to me, it's almost surreal. I cry.
Morose and sort of mourn the years that you didn't have.
I go back to my 9-year-old self. I go to my inner child, and I say, I'm not going to get in so deep. I'm going to treat you the way you should have been treated.
Yeah.
And Heartstopper helps.
Well, it gives that, and it doesn't just give, it's not just for a community, it's for every person who is a member of a family who has a member of the LGBTQ plus community, and so it helps all of us.
What does it feel like for you when you hear from a young fan who says thank you?
Yeah, it means the world. Yeah. And it's, you're not really aware of, but when you see that and you go...
Well, he wanted to come and join us, didn't he?
I've got a mutual friend, and
yeah.
I had met him, and he was just so lovely about the show. And yeah, it was like kind of like, if there's any way I can be part of it, I'd love to make that happen. And I was like, really? Like, it sort of seemed kind of amazing, but like a bit unreal.
Yeah.
And then you had the perfect character that we realised in season 3 would be a really good part for him.
Yeah, because it needed to be a decent cameo. He can't just show up, give one line, and then leave. It's like, that's Jonathan Bailey. Well, that's really weird. But I had this character from a side comic that I did just online, it's not in the books, about Charlie's celebrity crush, who is a classics professor. And we read that and we thought, okay, that's kind of the perfect role for Jonathan Bailey, and it could be a really funny little sequence that we can tie into the plot in some ways too. So. Yeah.
Oh my god, he's so hot.
I have to ask about Jonathan Bailey, because I'm obsessed.
We were obsessed too.
It was pretty awesome, I've got to say.
He's a really great guy.
Can you tell me anything about the character that he's playing?
He plays a hot professor.
Yeah.
And the scene was just us guffawing over how hot he was, so we weren't really acting.
We just sort of, had our jaws very, very low.
As someone who's watched Jonathan Bailey on television for a long time, I agree. Is he around? Do you know what? If I write down my number, can you just slip it to him in the next scene?
You joined the queue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really hot.
So good to see so many of us united in our love of classical art.
Quote from Jonathan Bailey.
I sort of wedged myself into that part. I was so moved by the series and also the graphic novel. And of course, doing Bridgerton, it's funny what comes with doing a lot of press. And suddenly there's a lot that people want to know about you. And there's a lot that's asked of you that obviously in any other industry, you wouldn't have to talk about. So I was hyper aware of the complexities and nuances of how I felt about myself, being a gay man, let alone a gay actor. And suddenly finding success in playing a straight part and talking about that. Heartstopper seems to allow people to feel catharsis and to feel a sort of melancholic sort of nostalgia for what could have been. I was feeling all of those things anyway. And executive producer Patrick Walters is really good friends with Josh Cole, who produced Crashing. So it is all a bit of Small World. I love the cast. I think they're brilliant. I remember seeing all of them speak to their own experiences and being like, my God, they're so erudite and grounded and thoughtful and kind and compassionate in their answers. I would be really proud of myself if I could be a part of that as my younger self. Everyone above the age of 40 should be forced to watch it.
Of history, philosophy, and of literature.
Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
We hadn't actually scripted very much for him to say. And when we were on set, we realized, oh, we need him to say a little bit more. So I had to, on the day, on set, I wrote him like a full paragraph of stuff to say about ancient history and literature, sort of give that to him and be like, I'm so sorry, please learn this paragraph right now. He was very happy to do that, so I was very grateful for that. He brought a lot of joy and brightness to set that day, which was lovely. So
this interview is live. Tao lies that they decided not to air it later, but wouldn't Elle's friends be listening to it live? Sure, Nick and Charlie are missing it if they're at the signing at the same time, but isn't anyone listening? Also, how awkward would this be to listen to live when the person being interviewed leaves in the middle of it?
Hello and welcome to Local Voices with me, Katie Newnham.
The radio host, Katie Newnham, is played by Catherine Bailey.
I'm here this afternoon with Elle Argent, whose art has skyrocketed to popularity on social media.
I just started to post my art to my social media. It just started to get more and more likes, and now I have over 50,000 followers.
I'm so sorry for mentioning this again, but Alice is so seriously skewed about what's realistic for an art Instagram account. I just scrolled on my Instagram feed for a bit and found these professional artist accounts with less followers than Elle.
That's amazing.
Also, just clarifying in case someone misunderstands me, Elle's art is not the issue. Her art is good, but the photos of the paintings are badly taken and she's posting way too infrequently. Her content is not striking enough to enthrall 50,000 people.
I mean, that's a lot of people.
Realistically also, being a trans person with that much attention on her, she would have faced significant transphobia online already. It would make sense that that would have already caused her distress, but instead she's just been portrayed as happy for the attention while downplaying it humbly until this interview shatters that bubble.
Now, much of your art explores your identity as a young trans woman. Why is that your focus?
I'm very proud to be trans. It's a big part of who I am. I like to explore and express that in the art that I create.
And that's so important right now, isn't it?
My goal was I really wanted to explore the culture of transphobia that exists, particularly in the UK, but also worldwide for sure. In the UK, there's such extreme levels of transphobia in the media and in journalism and in politics. It is being used as a debate topic, and it's being used by politicians to get people, to turn against each other. And I've never seen that really explored on TV, and I think that's a really topical and important thing to show in a story. And I had a lot of conversations with Yaz about that storyline, and she was really enthusiastic about exploring Elle's trans experience in a lot more detail this season. Because I think until this season, I was very much in the mindset of I want Elle to be a trans character who's not forced to go through so much misery and trauma. There have been a lot of trans stories that are like that, but actually it's time that we really show the reality of what life is like for a trans young person, and the media and the politics is such a big part of that. So
Yeah. Trans identities are the hot topic of the moment. Some call it a culture war, feminists versus trans activists and so on.
Well, I don't think we went into the show knowing we would have millions of followers, and I don't think that was our intent to go on the show and be like, oh, we're going to be famous from this. I think,
but it is nice, isn't it?
But it
it's nice.
It's nice, and I think for me, all of that stuff doesn't really matter as long as Elle is out there and as long as Elle is on the screen, sort of representing for such a community that is going through a lot right now, in the world. I think it's important that we touch on these hard-hitting topics. And I actually got really emotional a few times on set. I've never really gotten emotional before, but on set, obviously, I got really, really emotional a few times. I just had to have a moment to myself, because as I am more into this industry, I'm starting to just be a bit more of a method actor. And sadly for me, it's really easy to relate to being sort of to be sort of alienated. It's just a lot. It's very overwhelming to think about, but it's hard to get out of that place. So a few times on set, I just need a little bit of a break. I'll just put some music on and I'll just sort of just breathe. It's just really difficult, but I think hopefully you'll see that in my acting and the performance of Elle.
Last week we had a feminist speaker on the show who talked to us about the importance of same-sex spaces.
The way she's juxtaposing this as feminists versus trans activists makes it sound like trans rights are an anti-feminist issue. What she's actually talking about is trans-exclusionary radical feminists, TERFs, who are their own very vocal subculture of feminism. TERFs think TERF is a derogatory term when it wasn't actually coined as such and perfectly describes what they are.
I think it's so important we hear all voices and opinions, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on the debate.
The thing about public debates is that both parties need to know they're participating in a debate against some opponent on a certain topic. And they need to be given time to study and prepare. You cannot invite someone on the show to talk about a topic they've spent a lot of time thinking about and formulating their opinions on, and then a week later invite a teenager who has prepared to talk about art, to talk about legislation and specific topics that are directly influencing them, but they might not have much information about like this. You're asking a minor to be a representative of a disadvantaged group of people with no time to prepare emotionally or intellectually for this conversation.
Trans people aren't a debate. We're human beings.
What does it feel like to be putting these stories out into the world and sort of literally breaking some of the ground that people are trying to push us back on?
It feels, it feels necessary to me, because of all what's going on in the world right now. And particularly the character that I immediately think of is Elle. Because trans rights are not good, to put it simply. Things are pretty terrible in the US and in the UK, and across the world as well. And when I created Elle, I don't think I was really thinking about that. I didn't create her for that purpose. But now, particularly with the TV show having been released, I can see how much power just the character of Elle has and how much influence she has, and how much of a comfort and a source of hope that can be in such a dark time for so many people. And when, now that I know how popular Heartstopper is, I do feel a sense of responsibility to give that to people. It feels like if I didn't, it would feel like a waste of an opportunity to really help people who are struggling.
Our speaker last week believed that the presence of gender-neutral bathrooms will increase cases of sexual assault against women. I'm very interested to get your thoughts about that.
Imagine it not clicking that you're asking a 17-year-old to talk about SA live on air when she was unaware you would bring up this topic.
Well, your speaker last week was transphobic then.
And also Yaz, who plays Elle, we had many conversations about pushing Elle's storyline, really delving into Elle's experience of being trans in a lot more detail. And that made that story, kind of elevated that story as well. So, yeah.
It's a bit of a heavy topic, isn't it? Let's move on to something else.
Okay.
Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
We see a lot more of Elle's experience as a trans girl. This season, we see her experience of having gender dysphoria and how that impacts her relationship with Tao. But we also get a sense of the sort of wider culture of transphobia that she's dealing with every single day. It's on her Instagram. It's just in the media all the time, which is very realistic to certainly what it's like in the UK at the moment, and I'm sure in the US as well. I want viewers to see that in the show, and that sort of comes to a head in this radio interview, where Elle thinks she's there to talk about her art, but she's confronted with a load of questions about being trans, and I think that's such a relatable feeling for trans people, where their identities are being picked apart and used as debate material, and used in politics and journalism and on the news. It's very upsetting because Elle just wants to be a normal girl who's hanging out with her friends and making art and having a fun time with her boyfriend. But she can't because there is this culture that's just inescapable around her. I wanted to express that, and this season.
We were told she was here to discuss
Should we go in?
Should we stop it? Which states that teachers must inform parents about students changing their pronouns.
Quote from Joe Locke.
Our show is not political. It's never wanted to be and never supposed to have been. But you can't talk about these things without showing the problems in the system that exist.
Now, as someone who transitioned very young, I'd love to know how you feel about the potential new law.
Quote from Yasmin Finney.
This season, we have an air of realism with what she goes through when she's being questioned. It's not like some of the shows with trans representation where you have negatives. They're getting bullied or hate crimed. It's more like small nuances of transphobia, sort of like journalism. All that stuff I have had to experience as Yasmin as well. I've had interviews where sometimes I've been made to feel uncomfortable. It's hard, but you get tough skin from it. It's important for trans people to remember life will not be easy. It just will not. And that is the strength you get from life as well. That's why we're stronger than pretty much the rest. We live in a world which is very binary. It's very stuck up within its views. I used to be like, I hate that. But now I just kind of respect that, as long as it's vice versa. I think that's what people struggle with, that two-way street of just respecting the human being. If we strip everything down, the labels and stuff, we are human beings with feelings, thoughts, and emotions. It's important for trans people to be themselves and be as authentic as possible, even with all the noise. But in the sense of protecting your energy as a trans person, I think that's so important as well. If you have a conversation with someone and you know the respect isn't there, then that should be an instant walk-off situation.
Which could come in as soon as...
I think I need to go.
The thing here is also that the radio station is putting Elle in potential danger by stating her full name and school and pointing people to her Instagram while making her participate in this very heated debate, making her the face for all these trans-hating locals to direct their hatred towards.
I'm sorry if I offended you.
Like I said before, what I think Heartstopper does so nicely actually is it doesn't shy away from those things. You know, like this series, we sort of, Elle suffers some transphobia, and there's obviously homophobia from Charlie in the first couple of series. And these things, even though we've come such a long way, they do still exist, and they're sort of, that they are still a part of a lot of young queer people's lives. And actually, only by seeing it and representing it, you know, can we kind of do stuff about it.
This is not what we agreed. It is inappropriate, it is manipulative, and...
It's okay, baby.
Come on, let's
go. Let's go home.
I think when we were thinking about season 3, we, for example, with the Elle character, Alice and I spoke to Yaz and wanted to make sure that she felt we were kind of representing that character as truthfully as possible, because you know, that there's a specific experience there, and that was such a fun process. And there's a lot of Elle's storyline in season 3 that's informed by those conversations with Yasmin herself. Yeah, so it's exciting to do it in that way for sure.
You'll be hearing from me.
Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
It's a big turning point for their story. Tao has this moment where he is suddenly faced, literally, with the level of transphobia that Elle is facing on a daily basis.
Quote from William Gao.
I think he's mainly concerned for Elle. I don't think he thinks about himself. He completely adores Elle and loves her. But there's that realization that I don't see any of these boundaries and these biases, and other people do. As a cast and crew, we have these moments where we are making this beautiful, beautiful show that's so loving, and then you see that thing in the news and you get this realization of, shit. We're channeling all this love, but there is also this other stuff going on that you do need to acknowledge. You can't block it out, because blocking it out isn't the right way necessarily to combat it. We definitely talked about maybe Tao getting angry and going on a rampage that he would have done in season 1. But it was like, no, actually he's more layered than this now. They have gone through a couple of beats in season 3 that would inform a more mature reaction after he realizes even more about himself and about their relationship. It's a good testament, this moment, to his maturity, to let Elle come to him with it as opposed to being very, very protective.
What my mindset is the speaking part of being a spokesperson is inherent in the work. Yeah. I think if we're making a show that's celebrating what we're celebrating and preaching what we're preaching, I think that is enough said. I think that's inherent. But I understand that's just for me. Like, and that's why I'm interested, Yaz, like, how do you feel, because you're such a spokesperson for your community, not only the work you do, but also outside of your job and in your day-to-day, it's like, it's inherent in all of that. Like, what's that like?
But I feel like now there is this sort of overwhelming pressure with everything that's going on in the media over trans people and the government and their terrible, terrible comments. And I just think like it kind of strips away my childhood and puts me in this world of advocacy for my community, which I am so happy to do. It's just very difficult to have the weight of a whole community, which I love, and I'm so blessed to have that. You know, I put my heart and soul into Elle every single season, and I think that has inspired a lot of people.
And at such a young age, like I find it difficult to understand. Like I couldn't even make a pot noodle at your age. That's a lot, and thank you both for sort of like sharing that.
How are you feeling today?
I'm okay. Yesterday was a tough day. It's so hard seeing the news. I think it's so hard seeing so many people agree with such a, honestly, heartbreaking situation.
In practical terms, what does yesterday's ruling mean for you, do you think?
I think legally we're still yet to find out. Obviously, the Act came into play yesterday, so...
What are you thinking about just something as basic as going to a toilet? Which toilets will you now use?
I mean, until it's a law that we can't go into the toilet, I will always use the women's toilet as I am a woman.
Lots of people, including the government, talked yesterday about this law providing clarity. It seems to have provided confusion. If you are confronted in, say, for example, what we've just shown, a female-only gym, if you were confronted, how will you deal with that? How will you cope with that?
I think you always have to rise above it, and I think in situations like this, education is so important, and I've always strived myself on being kind and being nice. That's how I've grown up, and it's all about education. It's about moving forward. You know, hopefully we don't move backwards. It feels like we are moving backwards at the moment, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
If you're interested in a trans person's reaction and similar personal experience pertaining to this interview scene, I recommend this video with a slightly misleading title by Jammy Dodger.
You will know you can't trust a Mesopotamian to source your copper ingot.
This joke is a reference to the complaint tablet to Ea Nasir from 1750 BC that is on display in the British Museum. The oldest known customer complaint, written in Akkadian cuneiform, details a dispute over an attempted transaction of copper ingots that were substandard and a servant was treated poorly during the transaction.
You all know you can't... Where's the word? Trust. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Great. It was great fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Just sort of gawking at him. Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
It
wasn't hard to seem to act.
Yeah. And he was also just really funny. He was playing this really quite funny character and would be like, you know, trying to crack these jokes that, I mean, I thought it was brilliant because these just ridiculously sort of academic jokes. And yeah, I think we had a lot of fun with it, I'd say.
Okay, who's got another question?
Some people thought these people were Patrick and Alice. They're not.
Yes, young man in the denim jacket.
I was just wondering if you had any book recommendations about queerness in ancient Greece.
Now that is a wonderful question.
What was it like to have him on set and make him part of the Heartstopper family this season?
It was wonderful. He was only on set for one day, but he was such a beacon of light. So I feel like he came on set and everyone just cheered up.
Yeah, he's a very charming man.
Yes.
So, you know, people were happy.
Yeah, he was very happy to be there. Like he really genuinely wanted to be a part of Heartstopper, and I think everyone really felt that from him. And
because we were filming his bits, and then we were also filming some of a uni road trip. All the girls who were in that scene, so we had Ria and Yaz and Karina, they were all waiting around, and I saw them in their dressing rooms being like, is he here? And then he came in and was like really lovely with them and took all the pictures and stuff. So yeah, it was great.
That's a wonderful question, because I have just finished reading the most enthralling book last week while I was in Milan. There you go.
Quote from writer Alice Oseman.
The only bits of text that are actually my writing are the on-screen handwritten text, such as you see in the credits, or occasionally throughout the show. For example, the week 1/2/3 in episode 2. But the handwriting style font that reoccurs throughout the season in set design, such as the Jack Maddox signage, is actually a font either chosen or designed, I'm not sure which, by the graphic designer who worked in the art department this season. It was chosen specifically as it looks similar to my handwriting, aka the Heartstopper font style.
Hi, I'm a really big fan.
We kind of knew that he had been wanting to, you know, play a small role in the cast in the show anyway, so we were already chuffed at hearing that news. So when we found out that it was actually going to happen and that he was actually going to be able to, play a role that was kind of made for him, I think, as well. Yeah, it was awesome. It was great.
Johnny is such a wonderful, wonderful guy and an amazing actor. We've wanted him to be on the show for a while, so it was really great to find a perfect part for him to have a little cameo. And yeah.
Awesome. Did you guys talk about like his role a lot? I know you only get kind of the one scene, but how was it? Sorry, were there like a lot of takes, or how did that go? Formulating that scene.
Very smoothly.
He's a real pro.
He's a real pro.
So he didn't need too many takes.
Yeah,
I think he
got
just
it
got it done. I think he, that's a tough job to, as a cameo, like your first day on set and you're there, and you have to like do a speech to this like whole room of people, pretending to be some kind of, expert in the classics and things like that. Like it's pretty. I wouldn't have enjoyed it, but he did it with a lot of grace, and with a lot of talent as well. Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, he's a very well respected man in the industry, and to have him on the project was really, really special. And he's just very lovely and very talented, and that's all you can ever really ask for, really.
I probably want to do classics at uni, so you're a big inspiration to me.
That is so lovely to hear. Classics was my favourite score. What's your name?
Charlie.
Well, Charlie, study hard and don't ignore your Latin vocab.
The first Heartstopper, well, I mean, both of them, but when I saw Heartstopper, I just thought, it's quite sort of full circle when we started talking about stories we had growing up. And the one story that we definitely didn't have is that of Heartstopper, showing, positive, aspirational, gay sort of teenage love stories. And I just thought it was, for me, even, I'm only sort of 15 years older than the crew, like the cast and the stories that are being told, but I found it incredibly melancholic. And then I spoke to, other gay friends who are a lot older, and I just thought, what a brilliant thing, no matter what happens, to know that the next generation has that.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's so, the actors are so knockout that it's not a gay, people, they just see it as their teen drama. And that to me felt groundbreaking. And, it's just a small world, and there's a real brilliant group of people. And one, Patrick Walters, who produced it, is really good friends with Josh Cole, who produced Crashing. And Josh is, I have a few friends in the UK who were like, they're just, you just have these, you have a bottle of wine, you can just chat about everything, but including gay experience. And we were talking about Heartstopper a lot, and he was like, I'll let Patrick know. And I just said, look, if there's anything ever, and I would have served, tea on set. Trifle? I would have served trifle. No, that would have been pickles. I've given out for free. But no, I think, it was just, I popped up, but it's just, it just, I think it's, for me, I just like, if I can, just
contribute to something that's special. For
really, I can't say enough how brilliant I thought it was. And it just made me think about various things,
Thanks.
What can I do for you?
No, nothing. Yes.
In the show, we have renamed him Jack Maddox, played by the one and only Jonathan Bailey. It's a cameo role, very small but very fun, very sweet. But it's like, it is a very funny scene, but it also ties into some of the themes of the second half of the season, where Charlie and Nick are thinking about taking things further, but Charlie as we spoke about earlier, he's got some kind of body image issues. He's not feeling very confident. He's feeling quite anxious. And then they both meet this really, really attractive man. He's like, wait, no. So it's funny, but also it ties into the episode, and I'm just really happy with it. So can't wait for that.
Really, really interesting talk. The Mesopotamian joke was...
A great bit I personally loved was Nick's reaction to Jonathan Bailey's character, because I fancied him forever. Was that hard for you to act here, or did that come quite naturally?
Not particularly, no. It was quite a special day, wasn't it? Having Johnny on set. It was pretty, I think we were all a little bit nervous, sort of, for that day to come.
Yeah.
When we were first, because I hadn't met him yet either. So
I didn't know that.
Apparently, Kit came really close to meeting Jonathan Bailey, as evidenced by this video by @LilGirlOf7 on Twitter or X, where Jonathan and Kit are both attending the 2018 premiere of The Mercy, which both of them are in, but share no scenes together.
I hadn't met him yet. Yeah, I think you had met him, and you, but I
first day on set.
It was my first time meeting him, and he's just lovely. So I was
Such
just
a
a
nice
bit
guy.
like, oh wow, this is great. But yeah, he's, beautiful man. As we mentioned in the show.
Or was it exciting to have him in the series?
Yeah, it was really nice. I met Johnny a few years ago, and he was, from the first time I met him, he was talking about how he wanted to be in the show.
Yeah.
So I think they'd been trying to work it out behind the scenes for a long time. So it's good that they managed to fit him in perfectly.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Nice to meet you. Really nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you. Sorry.
Hello.
Are they funny?
No, they are not funny. They are not funny.
Okay, they may not think that Nick is intentionally very funny, but he's always got the unintentional humor down.
Yeah, he's really hot.
Oh my god.
How long are you going to stare at him?
I just think if my history teacher looked like that, I might actually pay attention and maybe understand.
Oh, we're moving! Oh my god!
Should we stop?
No. Do you want to?
No. Can I take this off? Oh, we should stop.
No, wait.
Door open, please, Charlie.
At least she knocked.
Had a nice time today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm nervous about taking my shirt off.
I mean, that's kind of what Heartstopper's all about. Heartstopper is about, like, these teenagers are so communicative, and that's why their relationship is so good, is because when they have these anxieties, they talk through them with each other, and they have such trust and respect for each other. And so now that we've reached Nick and Charlie wanting to have sex, that's still the same in their relationship. They just care about each other so much that they are able to have these conversations, and hopefully it will act a little bit as a guide for young people in having those conversations themselves and feeling empowered in their own relationships. Yeah.
I don't look like Jack Maddox or anything. And you know that I've got scars.
I know. You know I really fancy you. Like, infinitely more than Jack Maddox.
Even though he's got a six-pack.
I don't care about that. I like you so much. I love you. I want you.
As obvious as that seems, he really needed to hear it spelled out.
I really did want to carry on. I really want...
Mom, have you seen my laptop charger?
Maybe just not at your house, Danny.
Yeah. And I just get into this headspace where all I can think about is how disgusting he'll think I look. People would just call me disgusting to my face. And it went on for so long that I think I started to believe what they were saying. Because I'm skinny and I've got scars.
Being skinny and having scars isn't disgusting.
I know, and I don't actually think I do look disgusting. I don't actually think I do look disgusting. And I know that Nick won't think that either. I just can't remember my line. And I know that Nick won't think that either. Like, I love him, and he loves me. I just don't understand why I get so anxious about it.
We've talked about how you get anxious when you feel like you don't have control. Part of intimacy is trusting someone enough to let go of some control, and that's scary.
Another line I loved was the line, part of intimacy is trusting someone else to let go of that control a little, and that can be very difficult at times. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about, especially when seeing it from Charlie's point of view, about approaching that and the particular challenges that Charlie is facing as he's making this decision.
Yeah, well, Charlie has kind of had this whole mental health journey that we saw mainly in volume 4. He's dealt with anorexia and OCD, and he has kind of reached a little bit of healing at the start of volume 5. He is in a better place, but he is still dealing with these issues, and as a result of that, he is not feeling confident about his body. And so when these new feelings start to happen with Nick, and he kind of knows that he wants to take things further, but he is so scared about taking his shirt off or kind of showing that side of himself to Nick. I mean, that's kind of the core of Charlie's sort of arc in this volume. And like going back to what I was saying about showing sex and kind of taking that step into sexual discovery from like an emotional perspective, you know, I wanted to focus on Charlie as a character and not just present this, you know, sort of general storyline about teens having sex. It's very specific to Nick and Charlie and what their characters have been through this whole journey that Heartstopper has taken them on. And Charlie kind of coming to terms with, you know, feeling more comfortable about himself, is not just, you know, related to sex in this volume. It is kind of him stepping into a general confidence in you know, because of the work that he's been doing on himself and his mental health. And that really is like kind of the story for Charlie this volume.
But as long as you and Nick respect and trust each other, and you communicate and listen to each other, then you're safe. And as long as you practice safe sex, you can get some free condoms from the reception.
Well, obviously we will. Just wish I was more confident.
Charlie, I think you have a lot of confidence. Aren't you the one who confessed your feelings to Nick first, when you didn't even know whether he liked you back?
But feel confident.
That's just a challenge you're going to have to face. And not just with Nick, but with every aspect of your life. But I know you have it in you, Charlie. I really do.
That's the end of episode 6. We're nearing the end, but the last 2 episodes should still be available for early access on my Patreon. As always, thank you for your support. Your engagement with my videos gives my life meaning. Until we meet again next week.